my name is Allison. Today we're going to talk about how to prioritize yourself when others always come first. This is for the people who are chronic overgivers, who are the glue, who hold all the things together, who are always putting out all the fires, always prioritizing everybody else. If that's you, you're in the right place. And this is a really big deal because if we do not learn how to prioritize ourselves and we always put others first, then we never actually learn how to truly love. And we never actually learn how to inhabit the safety and the love within ourselves. Like the way we balance ourselves in order to show up with healthy love is, it comes down to this. Like I'm going to explain it all, but this is kind of the dynamics that are so important to healthy relationships. Prioritizing yourself is a healthy relationship with yourself, which creates healthy relationships with other people. Crucial importance. Okay, so by the end of these 10 to 12 minutes, you're going to know what's going on, why it matters, and how you can trick your brain into start prioritizing yourself. Okay, yes, I do that. I am somebody who has always been a very chronic giver. And the thing about this is that I learned this really early on. I didn't know that I was doing this. I didn't know that this was the thing I was doing. But I learned very early on that when I gave to someone else, that made them respond to me in a certain way. So I felt loved, or I felt accepted, or I felt belonging, or I felt just okay within myself. It wasn't conscious. I didn't do it with a consciousness. It's something that was learned behavior underneath it all. And I wasn't ever taught how to look at myself and whether or not I wanted to do certain things. I was primarily taught that putting yourself last and giving was a highly rated thing, right? It was very, very valuable. Most women are taught this. Most people are taught this, but women in particular, I think, feel the brunt of this because we are such nurturers by nature. So we give and we receive back from that a feeling of being needed, a feeling of being accepted, and it's something that makes us feel value and worth. So it makes total sense that when it comes down to our time or what we're doing with our energy, we put other people in that the priority seat. Like we see them first, we see their needs first, because we have learned that that's how you do it. That's how you do things well. That's how you do things right. That's how you take care of. That's how the process is supposed to be. It's like the right way to live. And I find two different sides that I personally grew up with in response to this, as far as like how are you told to interact with this information. The one can come from the side of, well, this makes you nice. This is what kindness looks like. This is what it means to, be a good Christian or be a good person. This is taking care of, is to put yourself last. That means that you're not arrogant, that you're not full of yourself, that you're not selfish, right? So that's the one side. And then you have the side that, says self-care, and we need to do self-care, and what, self-care is so important, but it's not necessarily explained why. And so it just looks like, well, you need to take a bubble bath. You need to go read a book and do things and take time. But our brain isn't registering it as an important thing or why it matters. So what I want to offer today is how to use what your brain is trying to do to get you to prioritize yourself. It's gonna flip the tables. It's gonna use the system of your brain that is a caring person at heart, a person who wants to love at heart, and it's going to use it to show yourself like what all is happening and how do I start taking better care of myself. Okay, I have to show it. I have to show it on the board. That's the only way I can talk. Okay, let's say that you are here within this space. I'm gonna get some darker markers. And inside of this space, you have a certain number of resources. You have your time, You have your energy. You have your care. And you are continually saying, okay, where is it needed? Okay, where is it needed? Okay, that thing over there, that needs my attention. That thing over there, that needs my attention. I need to take care of that. I need to take care of that. I need to take care of that. All the things, right? Always looking at all the things outside of us. What's happening here is that at an early age, we learned these things about how we fit in with things around us. And we learned that if we do here, then what comes back makes us feel certain ways. We feel like we belong. We feel like we're needed. We feel like we're valuable. We feel like we're worth having around, right? So we expect that when we do and we take care, we get something back in return. We may not actually know that that's a conscious happening thing. It could just be a subconscious thing. But what that means is there is a transaction in effect. It's not just, I'm just going to take care of people and I'm going to give of myself all the time to all these people. And that's just what it is. I'm giving. And we might say that, but there is a transaction in effect where we expect that at some point we're going to be taken care of, that at some point somebody's going to appreciate us, that at some point if we needed something, someone would do it, or if we needed something but we didn't say anything, they would see it and do it for us like we do for them. Does this sound familiar? And then when it doesn't happen and we don't get someone, reading things the way we do, and we don't get back the feeling of being loved or appreciated in the way that we receive it and understand it, then what happens is we start to get really this resentment that starts to build in here. And that's what shows us there's transaction happening. You think when you give, you're getting something back, and when you don't get back, resentment starts to build. So why is that resentment there? Why can't you just be like, you can just give and give and give and give, and you should just be always able to give and expect nothing back because you're a human. You're a human, and this is the way humans are built. Humans are built with needs. We are built with things that we need. We need love. We need belonging. We need to feel like we're doing something purposeful. We need to feel connection. We need to feel there's so many base needs that are relational in their core needs, and if we don't ever look at them and we don't ever say, oh, that's a need that I have, then they're just going to be empty spaces, and that is what we're trying to have filled, but it's happening subconsciously. So we're not expressing it, we're not saying what we need, we're just thinking in our deepest subconscious, well, of course, I'm doing this for them. Wouldn't I get it back from them? But we're all different people. We're all very different people. And the way I process information is very different than the way my husband processes information or my kids processes information. And so if I don't know to express, they're not going to naturally fill those needs unless they're carbon copies of me, and that doesn't really ever happen even with kids. We have people who have similar love languages, but often we have to take ownership of our needs. We have to take ownership of saying, oh, there's something that I need, and it's right here, and it looks like this. Okay, and if I don't fill it, or know how to express it, or know how to give it to myself, that's going to come out in this backwards, manipulative, shady kind of way where I'm giving, but I'm hoping you give it back. And then it gets really, really messy because I'm like, I'm trying to help your feelings. Why won't you help mine? And we just get crisscrossed with each other and so messy and confusing. And it doesn't feel like love. It doesn't feel like health. Here's what health feels like. Health feels like I give myself time. I set aside X amount of time for me. I set aside X amount of time every day for myself. I try to do 1 to 2 hours just for myself if I can, if nobody's around. and I just give myself certain things I know I need. I know I need to see myself. I know I need to hear myself. I know I need to comfort myself and support and celebrate myself. These are things I know I need. If I'm giving myself time, prioritizing time to give myself that, then it's no longer a gap that I'm going to be expecting from someone else. And when I give to them, what I'm giving out of is not emptiness. I'm giving out of an overflow. I like to think of it, this circle, I like to think of it as when we are filling our needs and taking care of them, make that a little darker. When we're taking care of them, what happens here is it just overflows. And it gives and gives and gives, and it's such a giving tree because we're so full inside. And we know what is needed in there. We know how to generate that, how to still connect with others for our needs, because we're not an island. Like, we are meant to have interdependence with each other, but you have to know your needs and you have to learn to give it to yourself first in order to be able to express to someone else what you need and have conversation around it. So this is the healthy operating system. And when I give to them, there's no undercurrent. There's no like, I'm trying to fix you, or I'm trying to make you give something back to me, or I'm trying to push to control the situation so then I feel like something I need has settled down into place. There's no crossover. There's no manipulation in any low-key way. However, when we don't do that, what happens, what happens is this is not a fountain. It's a drain. And we have all these little holes in it, and we're always sucking in more, and we're like leeching off of other people because we do actually have needs that need filled, but we're not paying attention to it. So we're just subconsciously adding in all these like undercover neediness of things that we want from other people, and that becomes extremely unhealthy in relationships. So this matters because what it means is that you were designed to see your needs, to learn how to offer yourself those needs, and to put yourself in a place of ownership of those needs. Not just all alone, like you can communicate with other people, but you're the owner of the needs. You see them first, you understand them. That's where you prioritize yourself. That's how you prioritize yourself. And to do that means you do actually, ironically, end up elevating the needs of others because you're choosing to give to them out of fullness, out of an overflow, instead of giving to them from any kind of like needy undercurrent of needing something back. You're choosing to really love. That is what real love looks like. You prioritizing yourself is the only way to have true, healthy, unattached, clean care and time and love overflowing into someone else's life. It actually is the only way. So when you don't prioritize yourself, you're actually not giving people what you think you're giving them, and everything starts to spiral down in a really challenging way, and dysfunction starts to breed out of that. This is like one of the biggest concepts that has changed my life. Okay, and I know that it's there's a lot to understand here. There's a lot to understand of boundaries, and there's a lot to understand of interdependence, and how do you compartmentalize your time for others versus yourself and all those things. And that's the kind of stuff that we would dive into if we worked together. There's a whole lot more to the story to take this concept and transfer it into integration in your life. So if you're interested in doing some one-on-one coaching in my mentorship program and you just want to check it out, click the link below in the description and we'll book a call together, and we'll just see, does it fit for you? Is this going to be something that catapults you quickly into this beautiful, fulfilled, detached, and loving life? We will find out. It's completely free, and I only work with a few women at a time. So if that's something that feels like your heart is calling, it's like, yes, this is a yes, I want this now, make sure that you click the link below and schedule a call. So remember, when you start to feel any kind of I don't know how to take time for myself, or I'm just prioritizing everybody except myself, and I just feel like exhausted by it, but I don't know how to not do it, and I get guilty feeling like when I'm not taking care of them. Just remember, it's actually the opposite. The more you take care of yourself, the more you take care of everybody. Self-care is we care, okay? And the healthiness of how you fulfill and meet all of your own needs, or know how to ask for your needs and work in tandem with other people, that will determine the health of your relationships and the care that you give and the way that you take care of other people. If you want to see more things like this, I like to draw out information and explain how things work, and I do that a lot on this channel. You might also be interested in my video called How to Calm Your System When It's Convinced It's in Danger. That is a really, really good one that I love. And I have lots on here about the mind and body connection and working with all the information and seeing it like this. So again, if you want personalized support integrating this into your life, make sure you click the link below in the description. I will be back for more support in helping you navigate connecting your smart brain to your wise body so you can live happy, strong, and free.